Hey guys, Mr. H is not here again today. Still fighting off this little cold that I have. I'll probably be back next class period, so no worries with that. You will have the entirety of the class period to be working on your solar system travel brochure, which is due next Wednesday. I'll probably give you just a little bit of time in class on Wednesday to finish it up, but we're also going to be having a summative lab that you'll be doing with the scale of the solar system, kind of like we did before, but you'll be working in a couple of different partners. I'll let you know more about that on the day. A couple of announcements. Thank you to everybody that came in and did the retake. Your scores are up. You can take a look at them either in PowerSchool or on the documents themselves. The docs that you do need today, the solar system travel brochure and the couple drawings that Mr. H posted in classroom. Let's take a look at the do now. And again, you should be filling out the do now before we go through it. We'll pause the video and then you can do the questions and then we'll come back and answer those, see if you get them right. So. All right, looking at the do now, question number 1. What is a comet? It is an icy body that orbits the sun, kind of like an asteroid, but it's made out of ice. And it has a really, really big orbit that's tilted to every other planet's orbit around the sun. How many light years away is Alpha Centauri? You could Google that and you'd end up with about 4.3, I think, light years, if my memory serves me right. So it is quite close. If we were able to go the speed of light, it would take 4 years to get there. That's the nearest star to us, to our star, the sun. Number 3, the gas giants are also known as either the outer planets, or if you labeled them as Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, or Neptune, I would have also taken those. So by the end of today, again, you're just working with those brochures, so analyzing scale and giving me information about the space bodies that you have. No new vocab, 3 something cools. A kid was, well, kind of interestingly, he was supposed to get braces. He didn't want to get braces, so instead he 3D printed a clear plastic sort of retainer that would slowly pull his teeth into alignment. He found a couple of programs online, and it ultimately ended up costing him $65 as opposed to $6,000, which braces usually take to do it. So he 3D printed his own, and he got his teeth to become straight without having to go to the orthodontist and spend all sorts of money. He was in high school, by the way. Pretty clever. Second, something cool. A lot of us don't really enjoy working out too hard. We don't like pushing ourselves past a certain point where we get really, really tired and feel like you want to throw up. But a new study out shows that if you push yourself past that point where you feel like you're going to throw up, it ends up adding about 10 years to your life at the end. So whenever people tell you that exercise is good for you, your PE teachers, they're absolutely right. And the more that you exercise, or the harder that you're able to exercise or push yourself, it's found to give you basically a decade to your life. So last something cool, before I put it up on the screen because it's a GIF, I do want to just explain it a little bit. What you're going to see is the size of the planet Earth compared to our sun, and then our own sun compared to a bunch of other stars in the universe. Now, the biggest one that we know of, the biggest star that we know of is one called Canis Majoris. Somebody asked that for a Q for H. And Canis Majoris is huge compared. So I'll bring the cursor on as well and kind of point stuff out as we go through. So that was the, whoop, never mind, we just missed it. So that was the sun. That's a blue dwarf that we can have. You can also then have a red giant and then super red giants. So there's the Earth compared to the sun. It's going through again. Keep your eye on our sun. You can't even see it compared to the rest of them. Our sun is microscopic at this point compared to these other ones. So that would be the size of Canis Majoris, one of the largest stars in the universe. The biggest one that we found so far, at least. So absolutely crazy how big these things can get. And to be perfectly honest, I wouldn't want to be nearly that close to one of them because you'd be rather toasted. So anyway, that was the third something cool. Next class period, like I said, we are going to be doing a scale model. We're going to build the scale models of the solar system using different scales instead of the one that we used last class for the lab on Science Inquiry Tuesday, where you had to scale everything down to 1,500 millimeters, I believe. When we do it, we're going to actually have to do it smaller than that because we have to try to fit it within the bounds of our school. So we'll be shrinking down to about 10 centimeters or 100 millimeters instead of 1,500, so making it even smaller for our purposes. That will be next class period. But for today, you're going to be working on that travel brochure. You have this document. Make sure that you're going through, make sure you're going through and seeing what all you need to be including in those different sections. Again, I gave you some pretty good links down below to help you out. Use those brochures, the drawings I'd given you. It's a great template that you can use if you wanted to erase the stuff on there, delete it and then print it out. You could, or you could just type in the information. Again, you do have to include 3 sources, at least 3 sources. You do need to have a flag. You have to tell me the scale and the distance from the sun and some general information. That could take a couple of different pages, reasons to visit, and some comparisons. So make sure you're answering or putting in all of that information. You do also need to have some of your own original artwork. Probably a good place to put it would be somewhere on the title page to make it eye-catching for other people. Again, you want to try to convince people to come to your planet or to your space object. So that's the ultimate goal of this brochure. So if you haven't gotten through all of it, no worries. You do have the time today in class. But other than that, everything has got to be finished outside of class because it will be due next class period. So if you have any questions, you can try to email me and I will get back to you as soon as I can. You are allowed to move about the room. If you wanted to listen to music like you did last time, that's all right. However, if you are off task, I've instructed them to for the sub to bring you back to your seats, and then everybody's going to have to work in silence. So use your time effectively if you would please. And that's about it. I will see you guys soon. Bye-bye.